Hello, folks. You know that moment when we decide to change our lives, adopt new healthy habits, and promise ourselves that this time, it will be different? But a few weeks later, we catch ourselves doing the same things as before, as if we never promised anything. Well, we've all been there. Today, I'll show you how to build healthy habits that truly stick, once and for all. But first of all, stop and think, why is it so hard to create healthy habits? Why do we give up halfway, even when we know the benefits? The answer may lie in some common mistakes we make without realizing it. First, it's important to understand that changing habits doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and like any process, it requires patience and consistency. Think of an athlete training for a marathon. They don't start by running 42 kilometers on the first day, right? They train gradually, increasing the distance little by little. The same applies to our habits. So, the first tip is, start small. Let's imagine you want to adopt the habit of reading more. Instead of committing to reading a book a week, how about starting with 10 minutes of reading a day? It may seem like a small amount, but it's exactly this small step that makes a difference. When we begin with small, achievable goals, our brain records these small victories, which motivates us to keep going. Another common mistake is trying to change many habits at once. Our brain doesn't cope well with radical changes. If you try to change your diet, start exercising, meditate, and learn a new language all at the same time, the likelihood of feeling overwhelmed and giving up entirely is enormous. Therefore, focus on one habit at a time. Now, let's talk about a very powerful concept, the why. When you have a clear and strong reason for adopting a new habit, it becomes much easier to stick with it. For instance, if you want to start running, ask yourself, why do I want to run? Is it to improve my health? To have more energy? To relieve stress? Keep this reason always in mind. It will be your fuel during moments of discouragement. Speaking of fuel, did you know that our surrounding environment can directly influence our habits? Yes, it can be a great ally or a villain. Let's say you want to stop eating junk food, but your pantry is full of treats. You're unlikely to resist temptation, right? So, create an environment that favors your new habits. If you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables in sight and avoid buying what you want to avoid eating. Another important point is companionship. Being around people with habits similar to the ones you want to adopt can make all the difference. If you want to start exercising, finding a friend who shares the same goal can be very motivating. Together, you can encourage and support each other. But what about when discouragement sets in? That day when all you want is to stay on the couch watching TV? In those moments, remember the why we mentioned earlier. Also, allow yourself small rewards. If you committed to walking for 30 minutes every day and managed to do so throughout the week, treat yourself to something you enjoy. These rewards help maintain motivation. Now, let's discuss a very effective technique, habit stacking. This technique involves associating a new habit with one you already have. For example, if you want to meditate daily, you can link it to the habit of brushing your teeth. Every time you brush your teeth, you know it's time to meditate. This creates a trigger that makes the new habit easier to establish. We can't forget the importance of tracking. Recording your progress can be a huge motivator. You can use an app, a journal, or even a calendar to mark the days you manage to stick to your new habit. Seeing this progress visually is very rewarding and encouraging. Another powerful technique is visualization. Imagine yourself practicing the new habit and reaping its benefits. Feel the satisfaction, joy, and pride of having achieved your goals. This practice helps maintain focus and motivation. Now, let's address the issue of setbacks. Yes, they happen, and that's okay. The important thing is not to let them bring you down. When you realize you've failed to maintain a habit, don't blame yourself. Instead, analyze what went wrong and think about how you can avoid it happening again. The journey to building healthy habits isn't linear, it has ups and downs, and learning from mistakes is part of the process. Finally, remember to celebrate your achievements. Every small victory is a step toward your larger goal. Celebrate each time you manage to maintain a habit for a day, a week, a month. These celebrations are important for reinforcing positivity and motivation. To summarize, building healthy habits that truly stick involves starting small, focusing on one habit at a time, having a clear reason, adjusting your environment, seeking companionship, allowing yourself rewards, using habit stacking, tracking progress, practicing visualization, constructively dealing with setbacks, and celebrating achievements. So, how about starting today? Choose a habit, apply these tips, and watch the transformation happen. The journey may be challenging, but with consistency and dedication, you'll find that creating healthy habits is more than possible. It's a matter of practice, patience, and above all, believing in yourself. I hope these tips were helpful and that you feel inspired to begin your journey toward healthier habits. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time.